Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So happy you are here. I'm working on a wedding shower tag, and I went through a lot of the different dresses and tags, and I couldn't find anything that I was just really loving. But I was finding a lot of things that I really liked. So I thought, well, let's alter these pieces. And so that's what this video is all about. It's about giving you some ideas on how you can take images out of the Cricut library, the Cricut Access, and altering them to get them the way you like them for your project. So here is my project. I want to show you this beautiful paper, and I'll show you the back of it also. Is from Sande Woodson. But I wanted to use, in my tutorial, I wanted to use everything from the Cricut library or Cricut Access so that you can find it. But here you can see this from Sande Woodson. If you are interested in checking out her papers, they are all free, by the way. She gives them away on her Facebook page, and I will link that in the box below. So you may want to check out Sande's Facebook page and take a look at some of her beautiful, beautiful digital work. It is absolutely gorgeous. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take these off to the side, and we will move on. Everything you're going to see here is available under the images or under the shapes here in Cricut Design Space. These are my finished tag pieces right here, and the pieces I used are this wedding dress from Tip-Top Graphic, this wedding dress from Divine Wedding, this label from Close to My Heart Artiste, this rose silhouette is from Die Brush Studio, the Best Wishes is in BFC Fantasy Connected font, and this background paper, let's come over here and take a look, is actually under images. I don't know if you realize this, but you can pick up background papers there. All you do is left click your images, type in, for example, I'll just hit here floral paper, and right here are a bunch of floral papers. Be careful when you see these with white backgrounds. Sometimes it is just the actual images here, and you need to put them on your own background. Okay, just a little heads up. But all of these are actual papers. All right, so I have chosen one, and it is this one right here. I believe it is down here a little ways. It's a really pretty peach one. It is right here if you're looking for it. All right, so let's just quickly get started. I started with the label here, and first off, I wasn't loving this shape. It was too long and too thin for these dresses. It just wasn't gonna work. So the first thing I wanted to do was create the actual tag base. Now there's going to be a front and a back to my tag. So the inside layer, the inner layer, is going to be my card base for the front and for the back. So the first thing I did is I made it a little wider and I made it a little shorter. So I believe it was about 5.5 inches by 3.75. Once I got it to this shape, I changed it white. Then I wanted an inset for both sides, and that is where I put a layer of this peach color. On one side it was a very light peach, on the other side it was a very dark peach. Okay, so let's do that next. So I'm going to select this, come up to Effects, I'm going to click Offset, but I'm actually going to Inset. I'm not going to inset very far, just a little bit here. Let's go about 0.083. I'm going to square up the corners. Now you might be thinking, but wait, that's round. Why are you squaring up? Watch what happens when I square up. See how it points it in? And I think I like that a little better for this. I'm going to hit apply. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that while I'm here. So now I have a front and I have a back. I'm going to scoot these down a little. All right, now, next thing I want to do is I want to inset this again. So let's just choose one of them and we're going to do the same thing again. So let's come up to Effects, left click, Offset, but we're not going to offset. I want this to be pretty thin. So let's go up about 0.42. We're squared, apply. This is the piece that I want to cut out of this paper. So I'm just going to bring it right over here. Now, this is going to be, I'm going to change the color, this dark. This one is going to be my light peach because my back of the card is going to be backed in light. My front of the card I'm going to do in dark. At this point, I want to bring down my paper. I'm going to bring this right down here. And you can set it anywhere you like. You could set it up in the flowers if you want. I think I would enjoy it just right down here in the actual font. I'm going to go ahead, select both, and I'm going to slice. And I can just pull this out. Now let's take this and let's duplicate it. Now I have one for my front and one for my back. You know, this light is almost too light for this. I think I'm going to change my mind looking at this. I'm going to go with just dark for both of them. There we go. Now, next, I'm going to come in with an oval. All right, so I'm going to come over to Shapes, pull in an oval. I'm going to rotate it 90, make it larger. I'm going to take this and I'm going to color it that dark again. Now I'm going to inset this one. Here we go. So we're going to come over to Effects, Offset, Inset again. Let's round it up, apply. I'm going to duplicate this one. There we go. I'm also going to come in and duplicate this first one we did. Set it over here. Set this one in here. This one, again, it doesn't matter because they're the exact same, actually. Let's make this one the back because this is where it's going to start changing. And this one, I would like to do in just the very light peach that we had. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to align vertical, horizontal. I'm going to come up, I'm just going to grab my best wishes and bring it down, save a little time. Let's right click and move that to the front. And let's go grab the rose. Let's move it to the front, right click, arrange, bring to the front. Now, if we look over here, I'm going to go ahead and push my best wishes up above the rose silhouette. So now it's at the very top. I'm going to bring in this rose. Now I have this very lightly colored. Let's go up here and take a look. I'm going to press left click the peach square, go to advanced. I'm going to inch it down just a little further here, make it even lighter. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and center everything again. Align, vertical, horizontal, and now I'm going to flatten. Isn't that fun how this shows up over that? So it just gives us a little background piece now. So that's really fun. Let's just set that off to the side because that's the back of our card or our tag, and it's all finished. Now, this is all done also. Let's go ahead and let's align it vertical, horizontal, and we can go ahead and flatten that. All right. And here's our piece that's going to go in the middle of these, right? All right. Now here's where we really got into some fun with the dress. So what I did here is I chose this dress because I liked the top of it. So let's take this dress apart. So we're going to come over, click this caret or arrow. I don't need this part, so I'm going to click it and I'm going to delete it. I don't need this part. I'm going to click it and delete it. And I don't need the top neckline. Delete that. Now, the part of this dress that I wanted to use was the skirt. Okay, I like this, the way it came out, like this kind of Cinderella style here. So let's see what's here. Let's open up the caret. I do not need this part. Delete. This part. Delete. Don't need the hanger. And that's not even, eye isn't even open. All right. Now, let's take these two pieces and let's come on down. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of the bodice on this dress. I'm going to come over and pick up that oval again, flip it over, and just set it right down inside of here. Let's make this bigger so we can see what we're doing. I'm using the arrows on my keyboard just to scooch this over. Going to select both, slice, and bring this out. And now that's gone. I'm going to bring this in. I'm just going to set it in. I may need to make this just a smidge bigger. So next, before I put these pieces together, I'm going to come up and I'm going to get that arch that we had. And it's this piece right here. I'm going to close this, bring this down here with our dresses. I'm going to flip it this way, make it smaller. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to group it so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, group. Now, I'm going to take this piece now and center it with this piece. All right, so I just want to get rid of the scallops at this point. Select them both. Come up to align. Again, I want to get them horizontally centered. I'm going to ungroup, pick just these two pieces up and slice. Right, so now we're back to this very princessy ball gown look. I'd like a little slimmer silhouette here. So let's see what we can do to achieve that. Let's bring this in a little bit. Let's bring this back. Let's widen up the bodice just a bit. Let's see what we have here. Now I'm noticing down here that we've got some peeking out back here. That's okay. I'm going to close my eye here. This is so easy to fix. Just bring in any shape you like. We're just going to take that off. Just get it out of the way. We don't need it. So slice and delete all of that. Open the eye back up. There we go. Move our skirt back to the front. Right. Now we can just push this up as much as we like. And we can combine and unite and see what we think. Ah, there we go. Nice. Let's change the color to white. Let's bring it over. Make it a little bit smaller. A little more narrow. And there we are. Now we have just a little bit of our peach peeking here. More of our peach peeking here. And we have room for some gems or any other embellishment that you would like. All right, I think that pretty much takes care of our card front and our card back. I'm going to go ahead and put our hole in with my crocodile. because I'm going to set an eyelet. So I want to make sure it's the correct size. Now, if these colors are not the colors that you would enjoy for your bride, then obviously that's up to you. You can design with whatever colors and flowers and background patterns you would like. I just wanted to give you some choices other than the one from Sande Woodson in case you didn't want to go and get that. Now, this bow I'm simply using as a placeholder. You can certainly cut that bow if you like and place it in also. Let's head on over to the craft table and let's put this together. So here we are at the craft table, and I've assembled some things: my tape runner, my Fabric-Tac that I like to use over a tape runner. I have some ribbon from my stash. I wasn't sure if I wanted the white or if I wanted the blue, so I have them both. I ended up using the blue, and here it is. I've already tied a bow on the end to see what the bow is going to look like. I have my little pieces that will create my eyelet, and that is from We Are Memory Keepers, and it's made to use with your crocodile. I also have some clothespins there, and those I'm going to use to hold my ribbon in place. This is the front and back of my tag, and this I need to talk about because I forgot. In Cricut Design Space, I cut 2 pieces of serial board of the dress. I actually did an inset of the actual dress so that it is a little bit smaller. Then I cut a piece of white cardstock the same size as the 2 pieces of serial board. This is going to act as a piece to go under the dress that will give the tag dimension, and you'll see how that works here in just a minute. So we're going to stack them all up, and then it just creates dimension on the actual tag. There's our actual dress, and there is the card, or the tag I should say, base. So let's just start by adhering these pieces in, and we can get that done pretty quickly here and be done with that part. Now we're going to move on to a beautiful gown here. I'm going to emboss this swirly texture, and it makes it almost have a lacy look on it. Then I'm going to go ahead and bring in my ribbon and twist it around to the back and place it in with just a little piece of washi tape. I'm not going to bother gluing it on at this point. Now I'm assembling the back part of the dress. So here's my first piece of serial board. I'll adhere it to another piece of serial board, and then we'll put the white on top of that. I like to use the Fabric-Tac over the tape, so the glue gives me time, just a little bit of time if I didn't get it centered. So here I'm bringing in that back piece to give it dimension, putting it right over that back of the ribbon, right in the middle of my die cut. Now I'm going to add a little bit of Fabric-Tac to glue down that little bow, and it is done. All right, now we're actually going to put those pieces in place. There is the actual tag base, and there's my back piece, and here's my front piece. Again, using the Fabric-Tac over the tape runner so that if I don't get it exactly centered, I have time to fix it. I'm going to punch my hole with my crocodile, and now I will set my eyelet. Quick and easy. I'm going to go ahead and just fold my ribbon, put it through. I'm going to use a little bit of embroidery floss there and tie it off. I'm going to bring in some little blue gems to finish up this tag. I am so happy you stuck with me through this video. If there are any comments or questions about anything I did, please don't hesitate, leave them below. Be sure you check out Sande Woodson's Facebook. You'll find that she has lots of great ideas, cards, and papers. Also, we'd love it if you would come play at Path of Positivity, where our challenge theme this month is 6 to go with June, and I have 6 embellishments on my card, and that's the idea, is to bling it up with 6 embellishments. All right, have a great week, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye.